I was telling Toko a story recently where one of my helps slapped my daughter. Slapped. I just heard my oldest child crying, mommy, and I ran downstairs. What's going on? So she's like, Auntie, please slap me. I'm like, okay, what happened? Please then told me what happened. So there's a rule in my house. iPad, certain time for iPad. At that moment, it was not time for iPad. She told Elizabeth, take go away from the iPad, put it down. She didn't answer her. Several times, back and forth in the room. She left her for a few minutes, came back again, she's still on the iPad. Of course, as an adult, she took it from her. In anger, as she was walking out of the room, in anger, my daughter got up. Obviously, she was upset, and I pushed the door. And the door now almost hit the auntie, and she also hit her head on the wall. Said immediately she slapped her. Said that was a fantastic slap.
This is a discussion that most women don't want to talk about. And it is what the speaker actually did, okay, was very commendable. Most times when we have domestic helps in our houses, most times when women allow domestic help in their houses, because definitely as a working mother and career woman, you would need domestic help. They call it the necessary evils, okay? Most times we tend to treat these domestic helps like subhuman, like slaves, like inferior things, okay? And we always overlook the fact that they are humans and they deserve all the respect, the love, and the care that a human being should deserve. Most especially when these domestic helps have the key to our lives. They are the ones in charge of our kids, our homes, our pots, our kitchen, even our husbands at times. Because sometimes you may not be at home when the maid is staying with the kids and the husband is also at home with the children and the house help. Okay? That one is another discussion for another day when it comes to house help and husbands. But what I'm trying to say is that we always tend to feel like these domestic helps are nothing. They are like slaves. We are doing them a favor, and therefore our kids, are given the license, okay, to misbehave and treat them poorly just because they are domestic help. What the host did right there was very, very commendable, because normally we want to say, Bami, no mommy, you didn't know no more. But when your child has misbehaved and clearly done something wrong, okay, to someone else, regardless of who the person is, we must, let that child face the consequences of their actions. Okay? I am not someone who advocates that maids should, put their hands on kids on a regular basis. But really, in this circumstance, the child deserved what, she asked for. How many women can actually boast? How many women can actually boast of, being fair in judgment when it comes to something that happened between their child and their domestic help? How many women? Most women will rather overlook it and not count it as anything. They will place their own children above the domestic help. Anything that the child does against domestic help is fine by them. They will always turn a blind eye on whatever excesses their child commits against the domestic help, which is very, 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 very bad. It's very, very terrible for you to do as a mother. A domestic help is so important. That's why you brought her into your home, because she's helping you to take care of what you're meant to do. Being a career woman or so a person who is so busy, so she's so important, she's valuable, and that's why she's in your home. You are risking it to bring a woman or a young lady into your house. You must treat them with respect. Don't spoil your children and let them have their way in insulting your domestic help, in treating the domestic help poorly. Because it's a recipe. You are playing with fire. Nobody likes to be treated poorly. Nobody likes to be given to be unjustly treated or treated badly. That's why we have a lot of nasty house helps, angry house helps, dangerous house helps in the home that are living with you, because probably you've treated them badly, you've let your children treat them terribly, and so they're harboring, some kind of hatred and resentment against you. And then you now complain that, why this maid is behaving this bad? Why did this maid, why is this domestic help trying to kill me and my children? Why is this domestic help trying to collect my husband? Why? That is why this some most times it happens that way, because domestic helps too are human beings, and they feel, very angry when they don't get the right treatment. So in training your child, getting a humble child is very important. And one of the ways you can raise a humble child is by making sure that they treat people, no matter what status, no matter who they are, kindly and with respect. Okay? They are not better than every other person. That's the house help or the domestic help is in that situation living with you, far away from home and all that. Is due to circumstance. I myself have had house helps in the past, and I always tell my children that, see, these people that are living in our house is because they need the money. They are victims of circumstance. May we not be victims of circumstance. They themselves, they're not happy to be far away from their family. Being a domestic help in someone's house, cleaning the home, catering to the kids and all that, they themselves don't like it. They would have wished to also be free and be with their families and doing whatever they like. They themselves are not happy that they are doing domestic help in someone's house. That is number one pain. Then you as a woman or a mother now allows your child to treat them poorly. That itself is terrible. Okay? And so they can react in so many ways. I'm not justifying the evil of so many house helps. I'm not justifying it, but it could also be a factor why we have them as terrible house helps, domestic house helps. So you must train your child, okay, to be respectful to whoever, regardless of their status, starting from home. I always tell my children, they are victims of circumstance. Nobody likes to do all those things. The menial jobs, the catering to someone else's family, staying away from your family for a very long period of time, and living with someone else as a domestic help. They don't like it. They are not happy. Okay? The best you can do for them is to make them feel at home to a large extent, not to some extent, but not to overdo it. You understand? Because so many times too, house helps too can be terrible. They can decide to capitalize on your kindness, and at times, I'm not saying you should not be kind, but you should know how you go about it. You don't overdo it. At the same time, but the bottom line of everything I'm trying to say is that our kids should learn how to be respectful to people generally, regardless of who they are, whether they are your employees or they are your domestic helps or they are your drivers or they are your cleaners, whoever, or they are your gatesmen. You understand? They must always respect. You see some women, they will not even encourage their children to greet their drivers. Some of them will even let their children, the little kids, to be calling driver that is a grandpa for other children in his own household, be calling him by name. Donatos, come and open the door for me. Donatos, John, grandpa, because he's working as driver. And the mother and the father will just look away. They'll just do as if they did not see it. That is very terrible. There's nothing wrong in encouraging your children to give these people respect. Uncle John, Uncle Donatus, or Mr. John, Mr. Donatus, please, can you help me with the door? Greet them. Let the children greet your domestic help. Good morning, sir. Good morning, auntie. And it will make them feel much more at ease by working with you. You understand? and it will even make them want to even do more for your family. But when you just let them just do as they like, call them by their names, not even regard them, not saying thank you for something they do, they feel that it's part of their job. Oh no, it's not a part of their job. And then when you have house helps, don't say because I have house help as a woman now, you now let the house help do all the house chores in the house. They can't even say common thank you. They can't even say common please. And their parents will be watching, especially the mother. They will not even encourage them. Say thank you for what Auntie Rose did for you. Nothing. They see it as, oh, after all, it is their job. Please, parents, especially the mother, should do more in that area. Don't let your child disrespect the domestic staff you have, whether they are house helps or they are drivers or they are gatesmen. Don't let them disrespect, please. We never know what the future holds. They are in that situation today. May God not let our own children too turn into house helps. Things change suddenly. I hope it doesn't change for us. But the best we can do for people in that circumstance who are doing these menial jobs, who are doing these domestic chores for us, is for what? To be kind, to be just,